Hello and welcome to part 6 of my Grombrindal Immortal Empires playthrough. Now, I am still recovering a little from COVID, so sorry if you hear that in my voice, but I do have a bit more energy today, so I'm ready to settle some grudges. But before we do that, I'm going to go ahead and rename my Thane here, Griswold, to Philly, because he does kind of look like him, as you rightly pointed out. So let's go ahead and rename him. Now I believe, Grombrindal is on a little hiatus now, isn't he? If we go here to recruit Lord, Grombrindal has gone away for 5 turns on a little trip. It's okay. He does come back every now and then, and we did take a lot of damage. In fact, I think here's that little UI glitch. Nice. Can I not click on this army? There we go. We did lose the Siege of Naggarond, and they basically have a full stack. Although the units are damaged, that is a full stack. So they might chase us down and wipe us out, which would really suck. So we're going to have to rebuild this episode, but I think we will go back and try to siege. We just check if we have any diplomacy, which we don't, sadly. So I believe that's going to be an end turn, and we're going to hope that the Dark Elves don't wipe us out here. Okay, that's a valiant defeat. Can I do anything about this? Valiant defeat. That's basically the closest to a win, right? Without actually winning. Maybe we can do it. The only thing that scares me is the amount of ranged units they have. I'm not sure. Let's check the terrain. Maybe if the terrain is in our favor. Yeah, I don't really know what to do. Maybe we could do something here with the trees, or I don't know. I don't think I can win this, so I think I will just auto-resolve and we will go to rebuilding rather than trying to fight this. Oh, it's a sad day indeed. But then we also lose all of our heroes. Oh, it's a tough one. Maybe I should try to fight it. Do you know what? Let's fight it. So here we go. Beernov leading his army for the last stand. The gyrocopter going in, just trying to do a little bit of damage ahead of time as the enemy throws some magic on the gyrocopter, so it can't actually move for a short while. Luckily it is defended ever so slightly from the by the trees, so that missile units can't fire upon it. As we see, the magic wears out. The gyrocopter shooting slowly but dealing a fair bit of damage to the infantry as they go in, firing off some bombs. And they're getting ready to shoot their second run of bombs. There we go, doing a little bit of damage to the enemy. But if we head over here, you can see we have our artillery lined up here. Of course, we are heavily outnumbered. Our artillery units here just waiting to deal with the enemy. 2 grudge throwers and a bolt thrower. Our Lord waiting in front, ready to face the enemy, and then just some units are hidden off to the side here, as well as the trees over here. Of course, much of our army is very weakened, and if we look over here, the Dark Elves really do have a lot of units as we see that reinforcements come in. So our gyrocopters just getting off a few shots into some of their units, doing all the damage that they can do, trying to dodge the enemy missiles there quite successfully, I may add. And just drawing the enemy army, really trying to get them within range of our artillery. If we turn on the guides, I can't believe we can see it too well because of the snow. And there you go, you can just see here our artillery cuts off just there. But yeah, the Dark Elves definitely pursuing the gyrocopters as we lead them ever closer to our mighty grudge throwers. So our artillery finally getting off some shots Gyrocopter's taking a bit of damage now. As we see this enemy shade unit. Shades are very scary, of course. That's what did all the damage to us in the siege battle we lost last episode. But our grudge throwers getting a few kills there. If we can deal with the shades and really the archers, then we should have half a chance here. Because the dwarven lords are quite strong at dealing with infantry units. But our gyrocopters dodging the missiles very well. As you see the grudge throwers come crashing in, doing a fair bit of damage. The gyrocopters trying to deal with this shade unit that seems to have got through on the flank here. That's one thing that's very hard, is we do not have a lot of units to really tank and distract the enemies, so the gyrocopters going into melee combat. Let's get a close-up of this as they try to mow them down with their blades. Grudge throwers crashing in. As you see the gyrocopter just slam into the Dark Elves. So we bring out our dwarf warrior unit as well as our miner unit here, because the enemy are getting very close to our artillery. Our lord also engaging the shades in melee combat. Just really trying to give our artillery as much time as possible to deal damage to the enemy. As we see our dwarf warriors get involved, as well as our miners. Our master engineer in the very distance there, coming out just to replenish some ammo for our artillery units. And now the main battle has begun. Many a dwarf making their brave last stand. As we see this sword unit here trying to break through, our lord jumping into battle. We will see if they end up reaching our artillery. Of course, artillery units are not very good in melee, or the dwarf ones I should say. But the bolt thrower unit here, getting in some very good shots. And just one entity left. The grudge thrower also targeting them. And they are retreating, but they take a bolt straight to the face. And just looking at the balance of power, we're not doing too well here. And in fact, we just lost our rune lord there, our runesmith. So we see our Thane chasing down a shade unit. Doing a little hop there. Not quite sure what's going on there. Just dancing with the enemy. We head on over here. Our lord going to help the crawlers, but just arriving a little bit too late. And the Dark Elves get in there, murdering mastery there. So they will be stronger in combat too now. As we see our grudge throwers just crashing in. Our lord chasing them down. We've still got our dwarf warriors and miners holding strong, distracting these units. There's the enemy throw a buff onto their units. If we go over here, we've also got some slayer units deciding to help out, fighting to the death as they do best. Of course, slayer units do not retreat, they fight to the death. They will either emerge victorious or finally get the glorious death that they seek today. As we just see them jumping and spinning with their axes. Pretty cool stuff. That unit looks to almost be wiped out now. You can see our Thane dealing with a small shade unit here. As he slices that elf almost in half. Our dwarf warriors retreating. Our mine is also about to break. This Slayer unit chasing down the enemy. One last Slayer. For the glory of the Dwarfs. And he goes down with one last mighty swing of his axes, taking a few of the Dark Elves with him. But now it seems like our front lines have somewhat failed, because we see quite a few enemies now advancing on our artillery. It looks like our Master Engineer is about to engage in melee to help out his artillery units here, of course. If the enemy do reach our artillery, then it is basically over. They're dealing a large majority of our killing blows here. Yes, unfortunately, a shade unit is firing in on our artillery. Let's go in, get a closer view of the combat. Our Lord and Master Engineer working together. Whoa, a mighty swing of the hammer. And the Lord has actually gone to defend our artillery as he jumps into battle. He sends them absolutely flying. The Dwarfs definitely giving it their all. Our Thane somehow still alive. He came into this battle very weak, or very damaged, but he's still fighting on. And our Thane actually decided to flee now. But the enemy also have quite a few units in retreat. Maybe this can still be won if our Lord and Master Engineer hold on strong. And the Dwarf Warriors have actually decided to come back. They will not be cowards today as they fight to their last breath. But once again, they choose to retreat the battle. Really stroll away from the battle, the Dark Elves not caring. Our artillery really under threat now. So we enable the UI. We still do have our Lord and our Master Engineer over here, distracting a few units. But the Shade's just completely ignoring him. And I believe the enemy's actually retreating here. You can see a few units are retreating. Kind of a little mass retreat here. This is where I got a tiny bit of hope, thinking maybe we can turn the battle around. But if you look at our health pool here, we do not have a lot of healthy units left. We've lost a grudge thrower unit. Our Thane deciding to come back into battle. Our 3 lords here, or heroes, making their heroic stand. And we see basically a full health spear unit now join the fray. And I believe that's the Horn of Retreat for the Dwarven army. And that is a Pyrrhic victory for the Dark Elves. I tried, guys. I really did. We kind of, at the end there, we came so close, the enemy started to rout. But yeah, it was a valiant defeat. But at least we died having like a last stand, you know. We didn't run, we fought to the death. But let's get back to the campaign map. Grombrindal will return soon with a new army, and we will definitely add that to the great book. So we need another new lord. Our army did survive, our Master Engineer and our Thane did survive, so that's not too bad, to be fair. We do have some units left. We do need a new lord though. We can get plus 5% research rate and minus 15% construction cost. We can get leadership or leadership. What's disciplined? And more leadership. Okay, sadly nothing to do with, what's it called? Nothing to do with recruitment cost. So a Rune Lord is slightly cheaper than a Lord. Maybe I should try a Rune Lord. So you got characters aura leadership effect +4 plus 25% leadership aura size, or +10 leadership and then +2 leadership all units in army. Let's get Frund Truth Teller. Let's try out him. And a new grudge. Looked upon in shame by Grimnir, the cheating Elgi curs have brought low our throng. This defeat must be avenged. So of course we do need to defeat that army. And we have a quest battle, it seems. The Rune Axe of Grombrindal. A dread host of chaos, one that has hounded the Norse dwarfs, is deploying for a fight. They wish to spill doughy blood upon the snow, no doubt in tribute to the vile god of rage and murder. However, the dwarfs shall not lie meekly in the frost and ice. They are led by the White Dwarf, who has placed an oath upon his axe. Only when this legion of the damned is slaughtered, will the many entwined runes upon Grombrindal's weapon burn with power again. So we'd get 5,000 gold, plus 10% casualty replenishment, 100 oath gold, and of course the Rune Axe, which gives us minus 5% upkeep, plus 10% income from post-battle loot, minus 10% recruitment cost, plus 10 melee attack, enables magical attacks, and plus 13 armor piercing weapon damage, as well as an ability which gives plus 50% armor piercing weapon damage. Very nice. However, we don't really have an army to go and do that quest right now. Flame gullets have been obliterated. There is nothing left apart from the echoing laughter of the thirsting gods. And Dane Ironfoot, surely a cruel jest by the gods. Dane Ironfoot has been killed in the battle at Naggarond Foothills. That is indeed sad. Euro, our enemy belonging to Naggarond, has perished in a battle at Naggarond Foothills. And Bernhoff Norglim has also died in the battle. Our old lord for the army, and as zooms are back out, it's taken us way across the map. So Malekith is down here, I assume. He's taken out the ogres. We have Valkyr on our border. The Norskans managed to take back one of their settlements. Oh, what do we do? It's a tough one. Our master engineer has got a level up though. Ancestral Grudge, plus 15% weapon strength when fighting against greenskins. We don't have any greenskins nearby. Ammunition, Hero's Army, Missile Strength. Oh, maybe we should get Missile Strength plus 3%. Let's do it. And just the one level up. And Philly, our Thane, also got a level up. Let's give him Blade Master, plus 5 melee attack. Very nice. Now we do kind of need to get this army out of here ASAP.
If you say so, beardling.
That doesn't actually give us any extra movement. Ah, there we go. That's why.
It's as good as done.
Oh, that is curious how Force March isn't giving us extra movement. Maybe there's a hidden mechanic there that I'm not aware of. So the Altar of Ultimate Darkness, we can upgrade our growth buildings. Can we recruit crawlers from here? We can. I'm half tempted to recruit a second army just so we can start recruiting now and then combine them. So if we recruit a Lord, let's recruit a Rune Lord. Yeah, and then we'll just decide which one to keep. So let's go ahead and recruit Griswold here. And let's start building an army. We only have 2 recruitment slots. Wow. Let's get some crawlers. Grombrindal will be very happy with those. And these beastmen are killing my economy. Although we do have more gold now because our army is greatly reduced. Let's check diplomacy, see if we have anything going off. Yeah, it doesn't seem to be anything here. So it looks like we're going to end the turn and see if the Dark Elves attack us once again. The world yields to those who master the winds of magic. Great bolts from the heavens scour souls from bodies, whilst raging torrents of fire rend the very flesh from bone. Magic can rip enemies into a dozen pieces, or leave nothing but an ugly bloodstain where once they stood. The power granted by the cataclysm many eons ago can be harnessed now to bring ruin and destruction upon our enemies. All those who feel the pull of magic feel it grow. As the world festers under chaos's ruinous gaze, their need to ravage grows stronger and stronger by the hour. So plus 10 Winds of Magic power reserve. That sucks, we don't use magic. Magic is a vile thing. We use runes. Far superior. So let's go ahead and recruit some more Quarrelers. Can we also recruit globally? Oh, I know I said globally. What kind of English is that?
I'll cast the runes.
Let's go ahead and
Onward.
go over here. Malekith here with a 4 stack. That's going to be a scary army to face. Oh boy. Oh, I'm scared about these beastmen actually, so I'm going to force march the other side, just so we do have the reinforcement of our garrison.
Armed and ready.
Okay, which Rune Lord do I want to keep? What do you give? Leadership, and then what do you give?
Yes.
Leadership or size. Does look cool. So we've got this guy, and then we've got this
Lord
guy.
of Clan Morgrim.
Ah, he's got the pointy horns. Let's go with Friend Truth Teller. So if we move these units down here, there we go, and I'm actually going to disband this guy.
Iron willed.
There we go, let's go inside the settlement. And damn it, we're in force march so we can't recruit. A bit of an upsie there. We do have some regiments of renown though. Very expensive regiments of renown. We could get the Naggarond Miners. So they're armoured, have armour piercing, special ranged weapon, and good against gates. Of course they have that satchel or the blasting charges. So I will actually in fact recruit them. And Slayers, what's the difference? We have anti-large, anti-large. These guys, these ones have armor piercing. Okay, if I can pin and just look at the stats. Okay, giant Slayers are better. Stat wise, much better. How many can I afford? Only 2. But we do need to get Quarrelers and Dwarf Warriors. So maybe I don't recruit them. Let's get the Naggarond Miners in at least. Do you know what? No, let's recruit the Giant Slayers. There we go. I haven't played with Giant Slayers before. And we will go ahead and end our turn.
Talk if you must. It won't change your fate.
Ah, the Beastmen declaring war. They will definitely regret this. Settlement besieged. So the Beastmen have besieged the Altar of Ultimate Darkness, really?
What do you want?
What's our garrison like in here? Loads of miners. Oh, we have some crawlers, some dwarf warriors. I think we can take them.
I suppose so.
Our lord's army is damaged, sadly.
If you say so,
Can we just go out and march? Yes, a decisive victory. And if we auto-resolve, that should be fine as well. So let's do this. And of course, we're going to go with execute and loot. There can be no dead weight, for many grudges remain. Strip the bodies of valuables and move on. For sure. And we gained 3 levels, well. Pueb, our enemy belonging to Blooded Axe tribe, has perished in a battle at Altar of Ultimate Darkness. Very nice, and the faction has also been destroyed. Yeah, they will definitely regret this. So, what can we get for our generic Rune Lord here? Leadership, Viger, more leadership. Elf gold we can... Oh, okay, so he's basically just a runesmith. Let's see. So let's give him a rune of speed. We'll also give you a rune of wrath and ruin, and that's all your levels. Okay, our master engineer also leveled up. We unlocked flash bomb, so minus 24% defense, minus 60% speed, as well as charge affects all enemies within range. That could be very useful. Although, what's this? A wind breaths. Ooh. I think I'm going to go towards this, so let's go ahead and give more missile strength to the army. Very nice. And our Thane also leveled up. Let's get another point of training. And let's go to melee defense. Of course, we want him to hold the lines. Now we can recruit some units. So we need a front line. Let's get some Dwarf Warriors. No, in fact, let's get some more Crawlers. Oh, Crawlers with great weapons. We won't do that. And I think 4 Crawler units is enough. Now we need a front line, so let's go ahead and get some Dwarf Warriors. Oh, we're very poor. There we go. Malekith looks like he will take this, but that's okay, because we're building an army. And he will not know what hit him when we do come down here. But let's go ahead and end our turn. So here we go, turn 27. We almost have a 4-stack again. We will get 2 Dwarf Warriors next turn. Let's get some more, make that 4 Dwarf Warriors next turn. That should be enough for a front line. Malekith just raiding down here. I'm quite scared of his army. I imagine there's going to be a lot of ranged units. Should I upgrade this growth building? We do get extra casualty replenishment rates, so why not? And our grudge severity now at 124. Wow. Do we have any diplomacy? The Exiles of Nehek? No. Yeah, everyone hates us. It's okay, because one day there will be a world without these fools. Valkyria does scare me over here. Hopefully she doesn't come west, but let's end our turn again, and then we should start marching south, maybe take on Malekith. The migration! A great migration comes to our borders, demanding shelter from larger threats abroad. Do we let them cross into our territory, or turn them away, so we can do nothing, or we can get migration plus 15... recruitment cost minus 10%. It's a bit too late now. So, be gone. And the Living Ancestor. Which do we want to pick this time? The King of Grimnir just seems so strong, honestly. Oh, upkeep minus 20% Grombrindal's army. That could help so much with our economy. But I think we will go with Grimnir's strength. And speaking of the White Dwarf, he is back, and we have a new grudge. Under Grimnir's raging sight, the chaos-corrupted Ungi have raided our lands. A fell grudge indeed. Find these Urks and defeat them. Only then will Grimnir let such an atrocity against the Dowie relent. Warriors of Chaos are raiding us. Where? Huh. I don't see any Warriors of Chaos. Okay, that's quite scary. They can't be here because we have line of sight. They might be up here, actually. I think that's where they would be. Okay, so let's go ahead, get Grombrindal back into the army. Let's give him his units. Oh, is there a quicker way to do this? Ah, shift click. There we go. And he can't move this turn, so we will recruit 2 more units. We have 4 Dwarf Warriors, 4 Crawlers. What should we go for here? Maybe 1 more Dwarf Warrior, 1 more Crawler. Yeah, let's try it. So 1 more Dwarf Warrior. And Or could get another grudge thrower or another bolt thrower. No, let's not do that. Let's get another crawler. There we go, Malekith. You do not know what's coming for you. And let's disband our other lord here, even though he was very useful. Just getting an army ready for the legendary White Dwarf. Let's go ahead and end our turn. I will try and get one more battle in this episode. Settlement receives plague. Our settlement, Recto Gorge, has received a plague from the settlement Shroktak Mount belonging to Naggarond. Wait, what? Malekith has access to plagues? I'm slightly confused. Imminent Rebellion, the Iron Mountains. Oh gosh, where's this? Oh, it's in Recto Gorge, okay. The Iron Foothills are also... Oh gosh, we've got a lot of rebellions about to happen. Right. During the end turn, I did want to check something. So in the Underway, so we can traverse underground terrain that would normally be impassable, immune to most attrition, ambush defense chance plus 25%. I do wonder, yeah, that's a small army. Should we try and force them to fight us in the Underway? I do wonder if they would be interested in an Underway fight. Let's try and invite them in. It would be a mighty battle. And that, in fact, will that stop the rebellion? No. Okay. And this is definitely going to rebel next turn. Oh, that's a challenge. Okay. We can upgrade growth. In fact, I will do that just because we have the spare gold. And the game just warning us of a rebellion there, but we were end of turn. Things are about to get very spicy. The insolent fools of this province have risen up against us. They must be swiftly and brutally crushed. And also another one there, a new grudge. Under Valea's disappointed glare, infighting amongst the Dawi has led to an insurgency here. The grudge has been listed, end this despicable influx. So we do get 1,000 gold and 30 of gold at least. And then the same for this rebellion here. Another failed war. And Griswold ready for duty. New technology. Oh. Again, the dwarfen forges speak, casting a new type of ammunition. Large shells fired with Cinder Blast. So minus 5% upkeep for artillery and plus 10% ammunition. Let's open our technology tree here. What has that given us access to? So gyrocopter recruitment cost, reload time reduction, plus 15% for artillery units. Let's go ahead and get this. Very nice. So who's this here? That's a Skaven army. Is that the rebellion? And a Skaven army here. Okay. Malekith didn't want to fight us. He turned down our underway battle. So we will go ahead and fight the Skavens. It's a decisive victory. I think we do just auto-resolve this one. Yeah, very nice indeed. So 400 to the treasury, 1.2k experience, and a rune of courage. So we get immune to psychology, plus 15 charge bonus. And so affects allies in range, immune to psychology. Okay, very nice. And of course we will execute and loot the Skaven. A new trait. Confidence can take you surprisingly far when assaulting the enemy. So leadership aura size plus 10% when attacking, and leadership plus 2 when attacking for the Lord's army. This one is irreverent, where others might show trepidation. Plus 5 leadership, plus 5 charge bonus. And we did kill the Skaven, as well as 1,000 gold and 30 elf gold. And of course the rune of courage, unlocking a lot there. Now I do need to go and deal with this army, so... why are we taking attrition here?
I'm leaving.
Is it because of the plague? Nurgle corruption. Maybe. I'm not actually entirely sure.
And unbreakable.
So we dealt with one rebellion. We have one more rebellion to deal with. I feel like they will run away, but we shall see. That's a very small Dark Elf force. Maybe we could take Naggarond, depending on where Malekith went. But I feel like there's going to be some big battles in future. But sadly, that's all I have time for right now. I was planning to get another battle in, but Malekith ran away. So that grudge will be settled in another episode. But thank you for watching, everyone. I will be back tomorrow with a Luther episode, and then the day after back to Grombrindal. But yeah, thank you for watching. I shall see you tomorrow.